So welcome back, everyone. My next guest is Master Trainer R.K. Springfield, and he is the CEO of Training Standards International. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, girl.
Master Trainer. Tell everybody what a little bit of what you do and why we call you Master Trainer.
Sure. Master Trainer is someone who's honed the training, is HR training, first of all. A lot of people misconstrue Master Trainer can also be for personal trainer. In this instance, we're talking about HR, human resource functions, management, leadership, etc. So it just means that you've honed your craft to the highest level, and you've been certified, in this instance, by ATD, formerly ASTD, the Association of Standardized Trainers and Developers.
Wow, I had no idea there was master trainers for HR. That is awesome.
Yes.
And, you know, when we talked a long time ago, and I know that this is a hard day for you, but I'm really excited to have you on. You've got let's talk a little bit about what it is that you do so they can get that out first. Go ahead.
All right. So what we do with training, TSI experience, is we take what most people believe is HR training and we make it experiential for the participant. Here's what that means. Instead of most people, when you think about training, you come in, you sit down, it's a free day off work, you just kind of hang out. For us, it doesn't work that way. All of our master trainers, the first thing we teach them is how to read lips. The reason for that is there are people in the back of the room for most training rooms who have questions that won't raise their hands, but they will turn to their neighbor and ask them a question. We answer those questions. We also get them out of the classroom as much as possible. We just did a great training event in New Jersey where we took everybody to laser tag, and it was for leadership development and training. Whatever we can do in order to get the participants actively involved, and that's what experiential learning is.
What kind of businesses do you work with?
We have worked with so many different cross-industry businesses. For instance, I just got an SAP certification. SAP is a kind of application, very, very difficult certification, but I went through the pain of getting the certification in order to be able to train for SAP. But we've trained from small governments, we've trained for the Department of Defense, Department of Interior, U.S. Strategic Command, Arizona State University, Virginia University, Dollar General, you name it, we are cross industries.
That's why you're the master.
Yes.
The master trainer. Now, you've got an event that's coming up on September 15th. It's a free event at TED Talks. It's called TED Talks,
right,
I should say. And it's at the Burton Barr Library in Phoenix from noon to 1 p.m. What is that about?
So what we're doing is we're bringing TED Talks, that the motto is ideas worth sharing. And we're trying to bring this as much as possible to Phoenix. There's something very close, but not quite. So the TED Talk hour at the library is we will show a video from TED Talks, and then the facilitator, in this instance it's me, and I will do a small talk, a presentation, and then this is the important part, the most exciting part for me. We open it up to the participants, to the audience, where they get to share their ideas as well. And they get to see what it's like just to talk, just to share their experiences. We've had such a great following from just doing it it's only been going on for 3 months, and already we've tripled our following. It's really great.
You got a ton of passion.
Yes.
And why is that?
A lot of my passion comes from most trainers. When you ask them how they got into training, almost every trainer says, well, it just sort of happened. I worked here for 5 years, and then one day somebody came up to me and said, hey, you should train. I was a little bit like that at first, just like most trainers. I started out very, very small. I was in a company, and a lot of people quit, and they said, oh, can you train more? Can you train more? But it turned out that I loved those aha moments. I loved the effect of actually being able to help people, not change them, but help them as much as possible, which is why it's very important in our company that you continue to learn and grow no matter what. My passion comes from helping people. That's why you do it on my time off as well.
Okay, so when a customer comes to you, okay, talk about why they would hire you.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some major changes here. Everyone always talks about the fact that life changes, that sort of thing. But the world really did change in 2008 with the economic crisis.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and one of those large changes is we have 4 different generations in the American workforce right now. It's never happened before in history, but everybody knows about baby boomers. We keep hearing these terms, Generation X, we keep hearing millennials. But now that we know that they're there, what do you do with this information? You can't train, you can't hire the same way that you did before. One of the best benefits we give to our clients is we help you learn how to behavioral interview or cross interview and how to build teams from these cross-generational functions. So a lot of the generations work not so well together. You have to learn how to build a team. One of the big things right now this year we're doing is teaching people about management versus leadership. A lot of companies are still trying to manage their employees, and this is one of the first things we come on and say, you know what, you don't manage people, you lead them. And it's kind of new, but it's kind of old if you already know about the Socratic method and experiential learning. But a lot of people are still, do you have kids or pets, for instance?
I do.
All right, and have you ever had a 2-year-old pet or child?
Yeah, I had a child, so they were 2 at one time.
And you had a pet?
Yes.
Okay. And have you tried to manage either one of them? Did you try to manage them when they were 2?
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
Not real well.
Right. And yet people will get up, get dressed, and come into work and try to manage other adults, and it doesn't make any sense. You have to lead adults. You manage policies, processes, and workflows.
And these are the things that you teach.
Absolutely. And again, cross industries, we teach that through lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, which are all different training functions.
Now, your website is TSIExperience.com.
That's right.
And their phone number is toll-free 855-275-0779. And again, this September 15th, it's a free event. It's called TED Talks Hour. That's you talking. You're going to be doing the event. It's at Burton Bar Library in Phoenix. It's from noon to 1. Is all that information also on your website?
Actually, it's on the Burton Bar website. You can go to www.thehive and you can get it there now. I do want to mention also there's it's not quite an event, but it's an event for us. For every client, one of the things that separates our company from other companies is we do a lot of pre-work before we come out. And most clients, most companies, when they do training, they will get what we call training in a box. And if you've ever hired any training consulting company, you know what I mean. They say, hey, I'm going to teach diversity. They already have it written. They come out and they just deliver that product. Those days are gone for us. This is a huge benefit difference for us. Instead, we need to learn more about your company culture, about the way you manage, about your company history, what your vision, your mission statements are, and then we build training around that. Even if we train the same title class for your company, we never do the same class the same way twice. This is not fair to the participants.
You must do consultations with people.
Yes, free consultation.
You have to. You have to do free
Absolutely.
consultations. And when you work with somebody and you get to know them, obviously, if they go to this event at the library, they can start talking, which is
Yes.
kind of really your way of opening up the door, sort of say.
Yes.
And then, do you have to go then to their offices, their businesses, and work with them?
Yes, absolutely. And this is, again, a big difference. Most companies will simply say, it's this much money, we'll be there in this date. And we say, no, we need to know more about what you do. We need to know more about what your goals are, because there's certain things that are realistic expectations and certain things that aren't as far as training.
Right.
We want to set those expectations so that we can exceed them.
Right. Now, what kind of companies, what are some of the companies' names that you work with? What would you be looking for? And do they have to be any size company?
You know, we will work with any size company. It was really important when we first came to Phoenix. We moved here about 5 months ago. And so this is a new branch for us. And one of the big items that were important is we want those companies that most people don't think that they can afford training. It's those small niche markets where if you have, let's say if you're a manager and you have 5 to 7 people on your team, that's a perfect size for us. But again, we've worked with world-spanning enterprises as well. We prefer to work with companies where we can actually develop a rapport and a relationship and watch the change and watch the growth.
That website is TSIExperience.com. Toll-free number is 855-275-0779. Before we go, I want to just let you tell everybody your best moment in training.
I think my best moment in training is coming up, but I just had a really great moment in training, and it was kind of unusual. We were at a company, and we were outside doing a balloon exercise that helps people to release any past history and gossip and that sort of thing, and then start fresh. And during that exercise, someone said, you know, I'm too angry. I just can't let anything, I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to hold on to it. And we said, well, okay, you know, that's absolutely fine. And so we went back in, and the person said, you know, as I thought about it, it seems like it's kind of silly to hold on to. I think I want to be a manager now. And
Wow.
so that person, during the course of the training, let go of the old.
Big turnaround.
Yeah, and move forward. Yeah.
Now, the website is tsiexperience.com. That's toll-free 855-275-0779. Check them out on September 15th. It's a free event at Burton Bar Library, TED Talks Hour.
Thanks a lot, Carol.